Your reach didn't drop because you did something wrong. It dropped because LinkedIn changed the rules and they forgot to tell you. I'm Jill Chitty, LinkedIn strategist, creator of The Psychology of Posting, and today I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, what's costing you, and the specific things that you need to change. So then, not messing about today. This is some really practical advice of what happened when everybody's reach just disappeared. So drop a like and let me know where you're joining us from, and let's dive straight in. So here's what happened. LinkedIn replaced its entire recommendation system with one model called 360 Brew. It didn't replace the algorithms, there are several of those, but 360 Brew is like one brain running everything, the feed, the jobs, the search, the ads, all of it. And it changed one fundamental thing. The old system counted signals, so likes and clicks and reactions, and it was asking how much engagement did this piece of content get. 360 Brew doesn't count, it reads. It reads your profile, your posts, your comments, your history, and it builds a full picture of who you are, what you know, and who deserves to see you. And that's a shift from counting to comprehending. And here's why it matters to you right now. If your messaging isn't clear, your profile doesn't match your content, and you've been posting inconsistently across random topics, the model can't place you. And if it can't place you, it doesn't distribute you. And that's why reach dropped 47% on average this year, not because your content got worse, but because the system got smarter and most people's positioning wasn't built for smart. So let me tell you what this actually costs. It's not impressions, it's not vanity metrics. Every week, you're posting without clear positioning strategy, and you're just getting less reach. You're actively teaching the algorithms that you don't have a niche, that you're not an authority in anything specific, and that it shouldn't trust your content enough to send it anywhere meaningful. And that compounds because 360 Brew isn't judging just one post, it's judging the pattern. So every off topic post, every generic comment, every profile that says thought leader, passionate about growth and coffee, it all goes into the model's picture of you. And that determines your distribution. And most people are optimizing the wrong thing. They're asking, what format should I use? What time should I post? What hook is working now? And 360 Brew made all of those almost irrelevant. The question isn't how you post, it's whether LinkedIn can confidently answer who is this person, what do they know, and who needs to hear from them. If it can't answer that, you're invisible. Not because you're not good enough, but because you haven't made it easy enough. So let me save you some time. Here are 5 things that actually worked on LinkedIn that are now actively hurting you. One, and I've been banging on about this ever since they came in onto LinkedIn, engagement pods. The system detects unnatural engagement patterns and reduces your visibility because of them, not despite them, because of them. So if you're still in a pod, get out now. 2, posting often to stay visible. Frequency without relevance trains the algorithms that you don't have a topic. A few high value posts aligned to your niche will outperform daily content that isn't. So frequency no longer works. You don't need to show up every day. Viral formats, those, number 3, those like do you agree posts or the inspirational posts that used to work, the 7-step list that could apply to anyone. 360 Brew actively downweights those, and more importantly, they confuse your topical identity, the things that you want to be known for. And every one of those posts is a vote against you. 4, keyword stuffing. The model understands context. A post about scaling a sales team is read as leadership, growth, people development, not as a post with the words sales and team within it, over and over again. So trying to game keywords is no longer a thing. That day has passed. Number 5 is the misaligned profile. This is the one that most people are missing. Because before your post gets shown to anyone, LinkedIn reads your profile. And here's the bit that almost nobody is talking about. The algorithms give weight to 3 to 5 times more processing weight to the first 1 or 2 sentences of your profile, so your headline and your about section. And they aren't just for humans anymore. They're doing 2 jobs simultaneously, telling the model what category you belong in and telling the right person whether to stop scrolling. If your headline says passionate about helping people grow, the model maps you to nothing. If it clearly names what you do, who you help, and how, it maps you to everything relevant in your network and beyond. And it's an uncomfortable truth. Most people didn't lose reach because the algorithms changed. They lost it because their positioning was already unclear. And 360 Brew stopped covering for it. Now, here's what the model does reward. And I'm going to be really specific because vague action won't get you anywhere. Number 1, meaning over mechanics. 360 Brew reads your post as a whole idea. It's evaluating intent. It's asking itself, is this useful? Is it clear? And does this match this person's expertise? High meaning content gets distributed. Vague generic content sinks. And the question before every post isn't what format should this be or what's my hook? It is, does this contain real idea that a specific person needs to hear? Number 2, your first lines are a distribution signal in both your profile and your posts. The opening paragraph tells this model, 360 Brew, what it's about, who's it's for, and whether it deserves reach. If that's vague, the rest of it doesn't get much help. And the same logic applies to your profile. The model front loads the reading of your headline and your about section opening. That's your topical anchor. You get that wrong, and everything you post starts at a disadvantage. 3, and again, this is nothing new. I've been beating on about this with my clients for some time. Dwell time beats likes every time. And here's what most people miss. If you're on Instagram and you hover over someone's video just for a few seconds, how often do you see that person's content again 5 or 6 videos later? It's constant. And the same principle applies here. If someone spends real time on your content, reads it slowly, scrolls through a carousel, rereads a section, the model will register that as a quality signal. They didn't just scroll past, they stayed. And that's why saves are now the highest value engagement signal on the platform. A save says, this piece of content is worth coming back to, and that carries far more weight than a like ever did. And it's why longer, deeper, more structured content is outperforming those quick posts right now. Those quick, I need to show up today posts, not because length is rewarded, but because depth earns dwell time, and dwell time signals value. 5, quality engagement over volume. Gone are the days where we need to spend an hour quickly commenting on everybody's posts. No, a post with 50 thoughtful comments outperforms one with 500 likes. That's not a preference. That's how this model calibrates. calibrates. And your comments on other people's posts are micro content. Get that? Your comments on other people's posts are micro content. They contribute to your topical identity, and a short generic comment actively weakens your authority. So spend real time in your niche's conversations. Say something worth reading. That's building your presence in rooms that matter. And 360 Brew reads that. 360 Brew reads that. Number 5, consistency is a rankings signal. To have 2 to 4 core themes. And everything you post sits inside one of them. So 2 to 4 core themes. This is going to be how you build up your topical identity. Everything you post sits inside that. Not because you're limiting yourself, because you're giving the model something to work with. When it can confidently categorize you, it will amplify you. And the model is trying to answer 3 questions about you. Who you are, what do you know, and who needs to hear this from you? And your job is to make that really obvious. 6, research before you create. This is the one that most people entirely skip, and it gives you a significant advantage if you do it. Before you write your next post, find 3 to 5 creators with a similar sized audience to yours. You don't need to find big accounts. They get natural reach that you don't have yet. Study the posts that got 5 to 10 times more normal views than their average posts. These are their outliers. And you'll find most people, when they're consistent and they are clear on their messaging and their topics and their identity and authority is strong, occasionally they will have these not viral but outlier posts that stand out. They get a lot more saves, a lot more reposts, and a lot more deep conversations in the comments. When a specific piece of content performs that far above the baseline, it's usually because the idea landed, not the creator's fame. And that idea has already been validated by an audience similar to yours. So it's helpful. You're not copying it. You're identifying the underlying framework and adapting it in your own voice, making it specific to your own expertise. And you're giving yourself a research-backed head start instead of guessing. So content ideas have always built on each other. Every author, every strategist, every educator does this. And the ones who do it deliberately have a systematic advantage over the ones that just wing it. So now I want to talk about something that changes how you think about content strategy entirely. Most people treat every post the same. They just post and they wonder why visibility doesn't turn into clients. This is all good if you understand how 360 works. But here's what is actually happening, or should be happening. Your content needs to do 3 different jobs, excuse me. And if you're only doing one of them, your funnel leaks. So first of all, the top of funnel is your awareness content. This is the content that's easy to understand, easy to engage with, and gives people a clear sense of who you are and what you stand for. Hi there, thank you for joining us. Yeah, keep those comments coming. It reaches the widest audience. It doesn't sell, it introduces you. So it's awareness content, and it's slightly different content. Then the middle of funnel content, which is education content. This is where authority is actually built. So you're using things like frameworks, step-by-step guides, real insights from your expertise. This is the content that people save and come back to. This is what makes people think, this person actually knows what they're talking about. And under 360 Brew, this is the content that earns dwell time. It earns saves and signals the model to distributing you more. Education content wins on every metric that now matters. And then we've got the bottom funnel, bottom of funnel, which is conversion content. So this is case studies, clients, testimonials, and this almost never performs. And that's why many people don't bother to do it, because we scroll by, but that's fine. It's not supposed to perform. It converts people who are already in your funnel and your ecosystem, who've seen your awareness content, been educated by your frameworks, and now need that one final signal that you can deliver. And that's where the conversion content does its job. Most people skip the middle entirely and wonder why their case studies don't land, or they stay in the middle forever and never give anyone a reason to take the next step. And all three matter in the right order. Now, I want to be honest with you about something, because when my reach started dropping and I had come back from spending time looking after my very elderly and poorly parents, and I saw that my reach had dropped, lost my touch, and I started looking at tactics, formats, timings, hooks, and I caught myself doing exactly what I tell my clients not to do. Don't go looking for the hack, because that's what most of us are conditioned to do, right? Find the trick, find the shortcut. That's what marketers do. Find the thing that's working right now. But 360 Brew is specifically designed to make that stop working. So here's what I actually changed. And this is the promise of the video. After studying this and working it through with clients on their profile, I looked at the 3 products that I had that created the highest impact for my clients. And I chose those areas as my topical interest, my topical identity. I went back to my profile and made it do the real work. I got more specific in my content, and I stopped tracking mentally. I stopped tracking impressions and started tracking saves and meaningful comments. I started thinking in themes for weeks, rather than writing a post. I started reaching the outliers before writing my posts, and I started taking my comments seriously. And in fact, I write fewer comments, but they have a lot more weight and meatiness to them, as those micro contents build my presence in the right room. So none of this is complicated, but all of it requires you to stop performing for the algorithm and start building for the person you're trying to reach. And finally, LinkedIn has caught up with how, as coaches and consultants, we need to build our businesses. What do you do? Who's it for? And what can you offer? And when these things align, the algorithms reward it, because that's exactly what it's designed to do now. So here's what to do this week. Not eventually, do it now while all of this is fresh, because you want to make some changes as soon as possible. And I know, I know life is busy and frenetic, so save this post. Those 3 little dots, click on that, and the drop-down menu will have save posts. And you can come back to this and work your way through it. Step 1, define your niche narrative. 1 clear direction. It can have several components, but what do you want to be known for? And if you can't say it in 1 sentence, it's not clear enough. Mine is on my banner. I consider that my mission. So go and have a look at that. Once you're clear on that, and I'm not talking about getting clear on it this week and then changing it next week. Once you're clear on that, audit your profile, starting with the first 2 lines of your about section and your headline, because they carry more algorithmic weight than anything else on your profile. Do they clearly name your niche, who you help and how? If not, fix this before you post anything else. 3, choose 2 to 4 content pillars, as I've already said. every post needs to sit inside these content pillars, because this is how you build your topical identity that the model can work with, and a body of work your audience can trust. So hugely important. Step 4, research your outliers before you create. Just find 5 or so creators with a similar size audience and study the posts that are outliers, that got 5 to 10 times their normal reach. Identify that framework that enabled that post to be moved out, shipped out, and adapt it in your voice. Give yourself a head start instead of guessing. Number 5, write for dwell time, not reaction. Ask before every post, will someone spend real time on this? Does it teach something? Does it make someone think differently? If it's designed to get a quick like, don't even bother, rethink it. And I've said don't think about formats, but there are specific formats that help that. Longer posts, much longer posts, where people are reading and consuming and interpreting how that is going to work for them. Infographics, these one-page, very detailed information that maps out clear steps, clear info, clear reasoning. And then, of course, carousels. So think about incorporating at least one of those a week into your content. Map your content to the funnel. Are you creating all 3 types? Awareness, education, conversion. Most people are heavy on one and missing 2 entirely. So fix that balance. And finally, engage with intent. Just 10 minutes a day can make a real difference. Give some weighty comments in your niche's conversations. It's not a quick thing to do, and a like definitely won't cut it. Something that reflects your thinking and your topical identity. And this builds presence in the circles that matter. And 360 Brew reads every word of it. So we have covered a lot, but here's some of the questions that my clients have asked me in the past. I'm just going to really quickly blast through this. My reach is down. Is it too late to make a difference? No, the model is always learning. AI is always learning. 3 to 4 weeks of consistent aligned content will make a huge difference, and you'll start to see a shift. But get clear on who you are, who you help, and how you help them. That is the most difficult thing for many entrepreneurs, but it's the most important thing. How long does it take? So I would say 3 to 4 weeks to start seeing it move once you've got it up and running, and then 3 to 4 months to feel it compound, because 360 Brew is looking at your history and it's seeing the context from that of what you post every week, and it's building up that picture. So it takes time. So don't be, I used to give the advice like, just refresh your banner and your headline, regularly, maybe once every other month. Have a look at it. We don't want to do this. Once you've got your niche and your topical identity, hands off, don't look at it. Do hashtags still matter? Not really. 360 Brew reads meaning now, remember, not hashtags. I mean, you can use them if you want, but don't rely on them. Personally, I wouldn't bother. What about video? Is that still video? I guess the same rules apply when you are creating a script and introducing that video. But for me, video on LinkedIn, it's just never really worked. I'd love to know from you if it's worked from you. Of course, native video that you upload from your own device really outperforms any embedded link that you'll add. But yeah, I think a text post will beat a video anytime. Should I delete old content? No. Focus from this moment on. get the next 20 posts right. Don't bother about auditing the last 200. You won't benefit from it. What if my niche feels too narrow? It's certainly almost not narrow enough. The model rewards specificity. You're not narrowing your options, you're making things clear. And that doesn't mean that you can't still offer some of the outlying offers, products and services that you do. It means that you're promoting and getting far more benefit from promoting a few smaller specific things. So a small, highly relevant audience will outperform broad reach anytime. Okay, I think this is the last one. Does AI generated content get penalized? Well, the model can detect those patterns, those text patterns. That's what it's designed to read. And so it will read it as generic AI output, but it's not about whether AI was used. It's whether the content reads as genuinely expert and human. So AI assisted, writing in your own voice, grounded in your own experience with your own stories, that's great. But generic output just so that you can get volume out, you can get 3 posts out a day, that's really gonna harm you. You need to stop doing that right now. And there's far more important things to be doing on your business than all of that content. So what I'm suggesting to my clients is, if they're posting every day, to bring it back to posting 3 to start with. In-depth content pieces that they're working on more, that is giving more depth, that is aligned with their topical identity and on their profile, and allowing the algorithms to calibrate that. I have seen content creators post one amazing piece of content just one time a week and get phenomenal conversion from that. But I think if you're posting 5 times, bring it down to 3. Here's the thing about 360 Brew that maybe most people won't say it out loud, because we've all felt the drop in reach and felt it as a negative thing. 360 Brew didn't break LinkedIn for good creators. It fixed it. For years, the most visible people won, but they weren't always the most capable or the most genuine. They were the ones that gained the system the hardest, and that era is over. And that's good news for us as genuine creators in our founder businesses and with our expertise, because the model now rewards clarity, expertise, consistency, and content that actually helps someone. Which means if you felt like LinkedIn hasn't been working for you, it might not be because you've been doing it wrong, but it's because you haven't been making it obvious enough of who you are, what you know, and who you're for. And that's fixable. And that's exactly what I help people do. If you want to go deeper, profile positioning, content, comment Brew for my free 360 Brew 7-step action plan, or DM me if you want to explore what closing this gap would look like for you in your business on LinkedIn. And as always, drop your comments in the questions, share the replay if someone in your network needs this, and I will see you in the next